Hello everyone, welcome to my commentary for DoDonPachi DaiOuJou Black Label. This is my recent clear with the Type B ship and the shot type. The main reason that I picked the shot type here is because you have actually a expanded maximum bomb capacity. So you get 6 bombs if you die 3 times without being in hyper mode, starting at 3 bombs. So then you get 1 additional bomb each time you die. And that's pretty important because, as you see later, it's very important for my strategy for basically not having to seriously route or, attack the final boss in a coordinated fashion. But we'll get to that. You can see here that I actually was able to chain the first part of the stage to get an early hyper. That's one thing, like, this first stage isn't that threatening, but this game is pretty unforgiving and requires, like, at least in my opinion, a lot more improvisation than what I'm typically used to. And so in some ways, recording this clear was actually pretty frustrating because I got the clear once and I'm like, well, okay, well now I know I can do it, I want to record the video. And it actually took the remainder of my holiday week to actually be able to get this. But I'm happy that I came, and Happy New Year to everybody. So the main thing with this stage is just that I want to make sure to get all the Bs. So I've collected, I believe, 5 at this point, and there's going to be another one on the left here. And the reason for that is because I found that doing a little bit of early scoring really helps with getting that later extend. Here's another B on the left. So you get extends at, I believe, 20 million and 50 million. And sometimes that 50 million doesn't come home unless you kind of pay attention to some of this. So if you get all of the Bs in a given stage, then for the next stage, their values are actually doubled. And depending on the chain, it's also multiplied by your current chain number. So that's what's really important for getting a really early score being high. You'll see that this is also some of the strategy for this stage 1 boss. Usually this boss is pretty easy, but there's a trick with this boss where if you destroy the side arms while they're spinning, they give you 2 hypers. And if you just destroy them without them spinning, then they give you 1 hyper. So the hypers in this system, I mean, like, for a complete novice like me, what I use them for is simply just to rack up a large number of hits and then collect Bs. And that's how you get a high score. But I'll talk more about that when it comes to it. You can see here that I'm kind of just tapering my shots to get the boss down to very low HP. And my strategy here is just that I want to blow up that sidearm as soon as it's spinning and then immediately kill off the boss. So you can see that's exactly what happened here, and I got 2 hypers. The reason why I want to time it in that way, not only because it makes it kind of quick and dirty and easy, but also that the boss gets really angry if you blow up its sides while it's still alive. So I don't want to deal with dodging that because it actually gets kind of dense. So I was like, okay, well, that strategy saves you that pain. So now I'm going to get the B on the left here. And stage 2 is much of the same. So I guess I should just talk about my experience with the B shot type. I find that this is a very, like, opposite style to what I'm used to playing. So what I really liked about DoDonPachi, the first, or maybe not the first, but the prior entry in this series, is that I played AL. And so the laser for AL is much stronger, and A is just a very fast ship in general. So this is the opposite, where I'm picking B and S, where I get a wider shot, normal shot, but I'm slower, and my shot is powered up, but my laser is really weak and puny. So a lot of, like, my frustrations and early growing pains with this game came from the fact that I had to learn more about how to apply the Type B ship type as far as the slower movement and the wider shot, but also knowing when to use your shot and when to use your puny laser, because I found that being more consistent with this game came down to using the powered up shot more and the laser less, which is kind of sad, but it's what's necessary to get that many bombs. For instance, this is the mid boss, which is kind of annoying, like, because if you play laser, you kind of have to deal with more of its phases, or sorry, if you play as BS, you have to deal with more of its phases. It's kind of scary. So here's the part where I hyper. I use 5 of my hypers, and you can see these Bs that I've uncovered. So the idea is just that I want to collect these Bs when I'm at as high of a hit count as possible. There's another B on the right here I'm going to collect. right here. You can see it's at 788, and there's going to be one on the left. And so the more bees you collect while you have a high hit rate, plus the ×2 from the first stage, puts me at around the 20 million needed to get the first score extend. And that one's not really hard to hit, but it's the 50 million one that, you know, I kind of want to come as soon as possible. I really struggle in this game with consistency with stage 2 boss. My plan here is to go into hyper and point blanket at the beginning and then bomb really soon. And the reason for that is because I want to lower my hyper rank so the bullets move slower. Because you can see here these needles are pretty fast. So when you bomb, it makes the needles go slower, and you can kind of go through that phase easier. And there's a bomb carrier that I've left to pick up later. So this is not really a hard pattern, but you know, I was kind of marathoning trying to record this, and after a couple hours, I got super frustrated dying to this relatively easy pattern. I guess it was just burnout. So I just decided, hey, I'd rather not die with bombs in stock, because that's historically gotten me pretty, you know, pretty not great results before. So I decided to bomb there. This is an example of a part of a stage in stage 3 where you should use the shot more. There I used laser because there wasn't very many enemies on the screen. But the reason, or to elaborate on why I say to use shot more, is just because of how wide and strong it is. So you destroy a lot of the popcorn. And at the end of the day, it's not that much weaker if you are up high in the screen, than using your puny laser. Which is kind of like, okay, well, if it's good in as far as killing things fast, and also isn't even that bad for, you know, and it also takes out popcorn enemies, I should be using it more. See, like, do you see here? I'm just shot the whole time. You know, that also trained another skill for me, which is that I needed to dodge a lot more things unfocused. You can see here, same. And I think in the long run that really helped with kind of learning about this B ship, because dodging is important, obviously. So here I hypered and I'm point blanking the mid boss to try and kill it as soon as possible. The thing with this mid boss is it's also really troll, where it drops these spike balls. You didn't get to see them, but I've gotten hit and killed by them so often. And the spike balls are just these giant, like, hitboxes that, like, kind of veer off in awkward places and kill you. Which is also, like, I wouldn't say random because I got hit by it, but it's also kind of annoying. So now I'm in this really choreographed part of the stage 3 is the latter half. And this is really fun because you get these screen clears from killing those large, like, sky fortresses or whatever. And so the idea is just that you have to point blank the large ship carriers, or as much as you can, because then you can be in a position that misdirects some of the popcorn later. If you're playing AL or a laser type, for instance, you don't really have to do any of this choreography, or much less, because of the fact that you kill the big ships so fast that they don't fire the blue guiding bullets, the ones you see. Oh, actually, I killed it, but I'll point them out the next time they happen. So I'm now in hyper again. I hypered because I got in a bad situation, but it's actually good because I can take advantage of this safe spot to get through that section where I get a free clear. So a fun fact is, unless you're at like close to full power with BS, you can't really take advantage of that safe spot because you don't kill the turrets fast enough. At least that's what I realized with my testing. But if I'm in hyper, I don't have to worry about that so much. So that was actually, you know, a boon in my case where, yeah, things happen to line up well. So here is Genbu, which is the stage 3 boss. Also, I'm really inconsistent with this boss as well because of a certain pattern that I'll tell you, or point out, that's going to happen right now. So this one, I mean, I don't want to say it's random because I actually don't know, but it always feels like a very precise reaction dodge that maybe 70% of the time I'm okay, but the remainder is like I just die and I get really frustrated because, you know, it doesn't seem like it would be something that would be that hard, but yeah, it can kill runs for sure. So it's going to come back, and I think I'm going to say, forget it, I'm just going to hyper this. Yeah, so I hyper it, and then I bomb. So I don't want to see that pattern. Like, I got through it once, I don't want to try my luck again. This is the second phase, which is kind of difficult because you have to deal with the cheese graters. That was actually a mistake. I wanted to laser bomb, but now I have to dodge the rest of the cheese graters without any assistance, which you'll see I'm not super successful. It was very close, but no. I'm sure if with enough practice and if you're really good, you would be able to dodge the cheese graters, but especially because I was at a relatively low hyper rank, I think. But no, I'm not very good at it myself. I don't think I said this yet, but if you bomb during hyper, it lowers the hyper rank, and the only other way to lower the hyper rank is to die. And as far as I know, the things that hyper rank affects are bullet speeds. That's the most obvious one. And I think also some patterns get a little bit different as well. So the idea with survival is just that you don't want the bullet speeds to be fast, right? So you just want to lower it whenever you can, and try to avoid dying when possible. So being able to time your hyper such that at the end of the hyper, before you go out of the hyper mode, you bomb a difficult section. It's pretty efficient. Or that would be a very efficient way to play for survival. At least for the 1-all. Of course, I'm not talking about 2-all at all. Like I can't even begin to imagine 2-alling this game. I've watched some replays with BS and I'm just in awe every time. So that was an example of the hyper and then bomb right after. Ideally, I would have wanted to not hyper or not bomb that section. But I find that with BS, it's kind of hard to kill those little turrets fast enough, especially when you're at reduced power. So you'll see my laser's super tiny right now. So that makes that makes it so I have to take out a lot of these things with the shot, which is kind of difficult. So this is going to look like really bad routing, but I actually, there's a couple of reasons for this. The first is that I didn't want to die without, or with 3 bombs. And I wasn't really confident in doing this section with a really puny laser, so I'm thinking, okay, well, I'd rather just see how far I can go after I drop all of my bombs on this life. Yeah, so that's my motivation here. I'm gonna bomb again. Oh, actually not yet. Okay, so I saved one. Yeah, that was kind of risky. I mean, given that I just finished explaining that motivation, I would have thought that I would have bombed, but maybe I was feeling a bit better after that. So there I bombed again. Usually that section is pretty free if you just stay in shot the whole time, but I think I failed to kill one of the big ships, which would have made my life pretty difficult. So I just decided, hey, I have one left, let's just drop it all. And the thing with BS is that you can just do that. So this is the extend cannon. You should slow this down later and see my routing for this. Within a hyper, it's really easy. You just abuse the invulnerability and kill both of the side pods first, and then you abuse the invulnerability of the hyper. Sorry, I didn't mention that. To kill the side pods first, and then you kill the middle, and you get the free extend. Without a hyper, it's a little bit more complicated. You can't use the bomb to kill the center portion. Then that 1-up doesn't spawn. But you can use a bomb in order to get rid of the bullets on the screen, and then while the bullets, or while the screen is still clear, then you can kill the hyper cannon. Got kind of lucky here. I have no bombs, so I have to dodge this. I'm really bad at this rail car section, or the zipper section. But I find that also using the shot in that section is basically required if you're not at high power. I'm gonna bomb here, or hyper. Yeah. You get a screen clear from killing that giant turbine, but I kind of wasn't. I didn't want to die again, right? Like, I guess this is what I've learned, or what's been internalized in me after failing numerous times to record this. Is just that I need to just make sure I'm bomb efficient. I cannot lose another life where I have 6 bombs. It just feels super bad. That's also why I bombed there. So the stage 4 boss, it's by far one of the most difficult bosses I think I've played. In Esperade, the stage 4 boss is hard. This stage 4 boss, I wouldn't say is as hard, but it's pretty hard. And so I just figured I'd bomb as much as possible. Special note on this pattern: if you stay all the way to the left, the blue spiral bullets don't fire on the right side, which makes this pattern way easier to dodge. So always make sure you're on the left or the right. I think it works on the right, but I just went with the left here. So now, usually I can kill the boss with 1 bomb by point blanking it, but because I was at a low power, I had to use a second bomb. I would imagine if you're playing an L or a laser type, then you don't have to use that second bomb. You can literally just sit in that safe spot and then bomb it and sit right on top of the boss, and it'll die. at that moment, I just, I had to use another bomb. So I'm at 0 bombs again. But, I'm not feeling too bad about it because I have 2 extends. I'm going to get my last extend um, during the stage pretty easily. And that's basically, how many bombs is that? 18 bombs, right? I think I can beat stage 5 with 18 bombs. I think that is, the reason why I'm playing BS. I'm like, hey, even I think I can do this. But anyway. Yeah, died there. A little unfortunate. I'm going to have to bomb here, I think. But that's okay. Like I said, I have a lot of bombs. Oh, I don't have full... Sorry, it was 17 bombs. I don't have full bomb stock. Maybe I died during hyper. So if you die during hyper, your max bomb stock doesn't increase, which is really brutal. So here you can see that this is the stage 4 boss of DoDonPachi. It's kind of a little bit, well, I don't want to say random again, but I'm usually fine with no bombing and not dying with that boss. But sometimes you can get in like a weird cycle where it's at the bottom of the screen and it's phased, it's moving from the left to right and the red bullets are kind of firing. And if it's in an awkward spot, then I just bomb it because I'm not confident in being able to dodge the red bullets. This is the infamous honeycomb section, which is basically just, people say it's a lot of cutbacks, and that's precisely what it is, but it's super dense, and I don't know. This is another section where you can see I'm literally just holding down the rapid fire button. I'm not doing anything else. I'm not lasering at all. My laser is so weak in this instance that it's going to take so long to kill a single thing. It doesn't really have that penetrating power, right? That stopping power. So I'm like, okay, just hold down the rapid fire button. Don't try to be a hero. But managed to get through. I have 1 bomb left. This is stage 3 boss, I believe, in DoDonPachi. Or, of course, an abridged version of it. And this one's by far the easiest mid-boss on stage 5. Especially since I just died, it's super slow. So, I mean, I'm just kind of taking it easy here, taking a break. Dies before it gets super complicated. Now I'm trying to just do more of the cutbacks or holding the shot button. Kind of failed that one, so I'm going to try it again. Okay, stage 5 boss for DoDonPachi. This one, you can see that you can abuse this kind of spot to the left in order to stay safe. However, it's also trolled me where the, I couldn't squeeze in between the fireballs, and it's just so, like, sometimes it's hard to see the gap, even though it's a fairly big gap, so I just bombed. I was like, okay, not going to happen today. I've died too many times, like, inadvertently. It's a small failure rate, but when it happens, it feels so bad, so I'm like, no. Die. Okay, and now you can see I'm at 0 bombs. Or actually, I think I just got a bomb. But, I'm getting into in the last part of stage 5. Again, I'm just holding down rapid fire for a lot of it. Here, I would use laser because it's now powered up pretty well, and there weren't many enemies on the screen. But in any instance where I see popcorn, I'm like, the shot is going to take care of me. Like, BS is going to take care of me, man. And that's kind of how I lived through that part. So these large tanks are super annoying. I don't know, like, why they don't die normally with the BS, but that's a strategy where the shot doesn't work very well. So you have to laser them, or you have to, like, bomb or hyper. At least that's, like, I wasn't able to find a way to do that part very consistently without using some of those resources. And there's going to be one more instance where that happens, so that's kind of just the annoying part. So, okay, I don't know how I got through that, but I'm kind of shocked by that, but whatever. No bombs, no hypers, so just gotta dodge things. At the very least, this like uncomplicates my mental stack. So here's the large tanks with the blue bullets again. You can see this. I missed my opportunity for cutback. I'm dead. So I have to bomb. But thankfully, we're pretty much at the end of the stage. So how many bombs do I have? I believe I have 6 bombs, or 5 bombs now. I'm gonna use another one. Right. Yeah. Just get rid of the hyper. Get rid of the hyper rank. Give me that additional bomb. Okay. Now I have, how many bombs is it? 11 bombs to fight Koryu. I think I'm good. So you'll see the most, the most scrubby Koryu fight you'll ever witness, and it's all thanks to my favorite ship, BS. Kind of being sarcastic there, but also not really, because I didn't want to think during this fight. Because some of these patterns, like especially the first 2, aren't that bad, honestly, but as I said, I don't want to die with bombs. I just don't. I'd rather take my chances, take my free damage, and then just try to dodge as best I can. This is one of the patterns where you actually do kind of want to consider bombing, um, but I bombed the easy ones instead. Okay, and then the final pattern. Yeah, with 6 bombs, even I can get through this pattern. I actually had a really heartbreaking death where I had 2 bombs, and I was, that people can no miss this part, like no bomb this part easily, right? But I had 2 bombs, and I died right when it was about to die. It had like a sliver, the magic pixel, and I was like, oh man, fuck this game. um, yeah, but anyway, I know this was just a lot of me complaining about all of the brutal parts of this game, but I enjoy this game quite a bit, and having spent a lot more time with it than I thought I would have to, at least to get this basic clear, more than once, because this is my second time. Yeah, I think I learned a lot about shmups in general, I think, especially with learning different playstyles, playing conservatively versus playing very aggressively, conserving resources as well as when to use the resources, as well as learning also a little bit more about scoring, at least in the first 2 stages where I collected most of the bees, and I used that very basic strategy of stocking 5 hypers and using it at the end of stage 2 in order to get 20 million points really quickly. And then I found that at that point it was really enough such that I could play the rest of the game without caring too much about scoring, and would be able to get that last score extend pretty comfortably. So yeah, let me just queue up the failure, just for laughs. Just give me 1 second. All right, so here is a previously recorded run. You can see here it's a very similar situation. I have 2 bombs. I have 2 bombs going into Core U final. So I'm like, okay, like didn't make a dodge there. I'm gonna have to make a dodge at some point here, but I was able to sit in the middle for a while. No bombs left. I had a hyper, so now I really need that hyper. I need to have used the invulse. I'm like, yes, I got it. All right, I'm good, right? Yeah. You can look, the magic pixel, it was just awful. Yeah, that sort of summarizes my experience with this game so far. Really excited for the M2 port. All right, thanks for watching. Bye.